Hello and welcome back to Stories with me, Jesse. Today's stories come once again from the judgmental and condescending adults over at Reddit/entitledparents. Let me know what you think of these stories in the comments, as well as any suggestions you might have that we may just use in a future installment. Sit back and enjoy the stupidity, because we're getting started now. Our first story is titled, "Too Old to Enjoy Video Games. This Makes Me a Pervert, I Guess." So I recently went to Walmart. I don't generally go to Walmart because I don't like the atmosphere, but been stuck at home for a while and needed some social interaction and wanted to grab some stuff to work on the outside area, just some plants and soil and whatnot. While walking through Walmart, I decided I would look at the video game section. I was looking at the Nintendo section when I noticed that they have one new Nintendo 2DS XL left. Not only is this the last one, it's the last Nintendo console they have. I was blown away. Recently, I had been doing some DoorDash to earn some extra cash, so I decided to splurge. I grabbed a person and was asking about honoring the GameStop price. Walmart still offers the price match guarantee, and GameStop had theirs $50 cheaper. The person agrees and says he needs to go find someone with keys to open the case. I stand there waiting and flipping through Reddit for about 10 minutes or so when a woman, entitled parent, and her son, Brat, and a Walmart associate comes up. I look up, nod my head, and look back at my phone. Out of the blue, I hear the kid shout, "That one right there!" The shouting had startled me, so I looked up to see the Walmart associate getting ready to unlock the case. I then stop him and say, "Excuse me, I have been here for about 10 minutes waiting for someone to unlock the case to grab that item. Keep in mind that the only item in the case is the Nintendo DS.
Well, sorry, but we beat you to it. Better luck next time. Maybe you should grow up instead of wasting your time on stuff made for kids."
I kid you not, these were her words. No exaggeration. I was immediately furious, and it takes a lot to push me over the edge. How could you talk to a total stranger like that? I wasn't rude in the slightest, just mentioned I had been waiting for someone already. Now I understand. Am I really such a jerk that I'm going to deprive a kid, maybe 10 years old, of the only DS they have? Well, yes, merely because I had been waiting and she was rude about it. Ma'am, that was uncalled for. There is no need to be rude. I have been waiting for a Walmart associate for almost 15 minutes to get this item, and unless you have been waiting longer, I'm going to stand firm that I have the right to it.
That's total shit. I have been here for almost an hour and have been waiting for a Walmart associate for almost that whole time to unlock the case.
Walmart associate, secretly my hero. Wait, you just came up to me a few minutes ago. If this guy has been waiting longer, it's his discretion on what he wants to do.
I had asked someone before you. Duh.
Not a joke, she said duh.
Where is the manager? This is ridiculous. I'm not gonna tell my son, who has wanted this for over a year, he can't get one because some pervert wants to play with kids' toys.
I would like to reiterate that few will believe this, but this story is true, and there's very little to no exaggeration at all. This woman really was crazy.
Mom, tell him to get it. Tell him to get it.
At this point, the kid keeps chanting this because the Walmart associate has stopped until the manager arrives.
Wow, you are really going to make a child cry over your selfishness? You really are a piece of work, you know that? Do you know how sad it is to let a child cry? Because you literally are taking the toy right out of his hand?
Ma'am, please calm down. There is no need to be nasty. The manager will come and we will see who inquired first. This whole time I kept completely quiet. The first associate I had asked to open the case comes up. We will call him Walmart Associate 2. Sorry that took so long. I couldn't find a key. Is there a problem? At this point, the two Walmart associates are discussing the situation. I am texting the insanity of this to my wife, and the kid kept crying really loudly. Finally, the manager arrives. The manager goes and talks to the associates for a few minutes, and entitled parent answers her phone.
I know I'm taking too long. Some pervert is trying to take the last toy, and the moron at Walmart is actually trying to let a grown man take a toy away from a kid. I know, what a joke. It's okay, the manager is here.
The manager then signals for me to walk over away from the kid and mother. So based on what I know of the situation, you were here first. Now that means it's up to you on what you want to do. I understand this lady has been very rude, but I just wanted to talk with you for a second. I am keen to keep things calm over here, so what I can do for you is give you the original discount plus $20 additional off when the next round comes in, if you are okay with waiting. I'll admit I'm not stoked about it, but I appreciate your help. Thank you. This entire time, entitled parent went off at the Walmart associate, claiming that this was by far the most insane thing she had ever seen. Walmart supports perverts like me, and then calling the news and informing them that they let a pervert buy all the kids' toys right in front of the kids' eyes. Okay, this gentleman has decided to wait for them to come back in stock if you want to take this one. This is for real.
Are you kidding me? This asshole kept me here for over 20 minutes!
It was more like 10 tops.
Just to finally agree to let my son have it! Him!
I spoke with him and we came to an agreement on terms that work best for everyone involved.
Wait! He was the person who caused all this bullshit, and you offered him free shit! That's bullshit! I was the one that was subject to sitting here while he played his stupid game! What are you going to do for me for my time and letting this make my son so upset?
Ma'am, you are getting the item. I am sorry that this took a second, but I had to get all the information.
That doesn't answer my question! You're letting this loser get all kinds of discounts for literally being a creep and an asshole and making my son cry, but I get nothing but what I deserve in the first place! God, this is insane, and Walmart corporate will be hearing about this!
At this point, I walked away and chuckled to myself. A week later, I got the call that they had another one in and went to pick it up. Wow. Just wow. Oh my god! There's always gotta be a Karen! Where did she get off asserting herself over someone who was already waiting and acting so damn entitled and calling the guy a pervert? Good lord! There's millions of adults who play video games, but she just couldn't help herself and had to go there, flying off the handle like a frickin' psychopath! Moving on, our next story is called Entitled Mother Tried to Get Her Daughter My Job Because I'm Chubby. This happened today, so I thought I'd share. I'm female and home from college. The stay-at-home order in my town is slowly being lifted, so some businesses are finally opening up. My parents require me to have a summer job. I'm blessed enough that I get to keep all the money I earn. My parents just like me to work to gain experience. This will be relevant later. But I'm not a skinny girl. I wouldn't consider myself large either. I'm 5'6" and weigh about 140 to 145 pounds right now, and carry most of it in my hips and thighs. The freshman 15 did hit me hard though, as I used to be 120-ish. So today, after finishing my last online final, my dad called me. He told me that one of his friends who runs a heating/AC company texted him that they were looking for girls to work in the office, answering phones and stuff. I got excited because that's exactly what I wanted. So I put on a dress, printed a copy of my resume, and drove down. The ladies inside were super nice and asked me to fill out an application, so I sat down to do so, and this is where the entitled mother enters. We're in the South, which might be relevant, because typically for jobs like this, they're looking for a pretty face, to sit behind the counter and talk to customers. This is unspoken though. Yes, it's awful, but hey, I needed a job. So, as I'm filling out an application, Entitled Mother enters with Entitled Girl. She announces that she's here about the opening and her daughter would like to apply. Desk lady explains that she'll need to fill out an application and hands her one and a pen. They come sit in the lobby right beside me, which I thought was weird, but I didn't say anything. Entitled Mother to me.
Are you here for the job as well?
Yes, ma'am. You know, that little cocky sound people make. I ignored her and went up to ask desk lady one a question about the application. It was about how professional one of my references for babysitting was. When I returned and sat back down, Entitled Mother walked up to the desk.
Does my daughter even really need to fill this out? It's protocol. The boss will look at all the applications and decide who to call for an interview. Is he here? I'm sure if he could see my daughter, he'd know who he wanted to call. He is, but he isn't seeing visitors right now. How will he know who to hire if he doesn't know what the girls look like? Well, he will need to see their references, and we'll make a few calls before he... No! My daughter is an aspiring model. She won Insert Local Pageant in 2019. He needs to see her to know she's the face he wants to see behind the counter, interacting with the customers. I'm not sure what you mean. This isn't a modeling job. Looks don't really matter. Oh, I know, but they do. And let's face it, the boss isn't going to want...
At this point, she leans in closer to Desk Lady 1.
A chubby girl up there, is he?
This whole time, Entitled Girl is smirking at me and glances as she fills out her application. This caught the attention of Desk Lady 2, as well as me, and we both looked up at this point.
Ma'am, I'm not sure I know what you mean. Oh, no disrespect. I just know Boss personally and know he'd prefer a pretty face around the office. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think there's no question between my daughter and, well, this young lady, for example.
Me.
No offense, honey. Just trying to save you some time.
At this point, I'm in tears. I don't know if it was rage or the sting of her insult, but either way, I was not going to let her see me cry, so I quickly got up and handed my application to Desk Lady 1 before trying to leave.
Sweetie, wait.
Talking to me.
You say you know Boss personally, right?
To Entitled Mother.
Oh yes, we went to high school together. And you know him so well that you know he'd prefer a skinny woman behind this desk? Well, I didn't say that,
She did.
but I'd assume so. Great. Well, I'm his wife, and I've worked behind this desk for almost 15 years now. And as you can see, I could probably drop a few. And I take personal offense to what you're saying about my husband and this young lady. So I'd like you to wait in the car while your daughter fills out her application.
Entitled Mother and Entitled Girl both stormed out at that point. Entitled Girl took her application, so I don't know if she'll apply or not, but both women behind the counter told me that Entitled Mother was a bitch, and they'd vouch for me with the boss, so I'm hopeful that I got the job. What a mean and cold-hearted mother to openly insult a young lady like that. And she's totally teaching her daughter to live her life with the same sense of entitlement, instead of actually preparing her for the real world, where character and work ethic should be more valuable traits instead of coasting by on looks alone. That really bugs me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this story below. Our final story is titled, Entitled Parent Tries to Let Her Daughter Play with My Wheelchair. Alright, so I'm me, just a kid with spina bifida who can't walk. Entitled Parent is EP. Entitled Daughter is ED. By Entitled Daughter, I mean daughter of Entitled Parent. She was too young to do something wrong. This story also happened a few months ago, but I figured I'd share. I'm in a park with some of my friends, waiting after school for a concert that starts in a few hours. My friends agree to go to a nearby Starbucks to order some coffee, offer to bring me some back, and ask me to watch their stuff since we've set up at a picnic table. This is a common arrangement between my friends and I that I'm 100% fine with since I'm a bit slower getting to places. This is when Entitled Parent and Entitled Daughter come in. I'm awful with children's ages, but I'd guess Entitled Daughter is around 5 or 6. Entitled Parent asks if the picnic table is taken. I say yes, I'm waiting for my friends to come back, and point to a nearby table that isn't taken. For reference, I'm seated in my wheelchair at the end of the table. At this point, Entitled Daughter asks what's wrong with me. Now for reference, that's not a question I'm personally offended by, especially when asked by a kid. Kids are curious. Don't go around asking disabled people what's wrong with them, obviously. But yeah, my standard answer for young kids is, I didn't eat my vegetables. It usually gets an awkward chuckle from the parent as they apologize for the kid, and a confused kid. This time it did not work out like that. Entitled Parent asks what really happened, seemingly annoyed. And I explain I was born with a weird spinal cord, spina bifida. I also mention how I could walk when I was younger. Big mistake. Entitled Parent's interpretation of that is that I don't really need the chair. For reference, I was in an accident when I was younger that f***ed up my already f***ed up spine. Before that, I could walk with braces. Now it's just the chair. Entitled Daughter asks if she can have a turn. I try to explain that no, I need the wheelchair and it's very expensive because it was custom made for me. Entitled Parent said that I could just sit on the bench while Entitled Daughter uses the chair. Again, I say no. I'm fully capable of transfers, but I stay in my chair when I can. Entitled Parent sighs, asking if I'm sure I really need the chair. I honestly have no idea what to do, and Entitled Parent has murder in their eyes. So I say Entitled Daughter can get in my lap if she wants. Entitled Parent places Entitled Daughter in my lap, and Entitled Daughter begins ordering me around. Go around the picnic table. Faster! Honestly, I have no idea how it was fun for her. It's not like wheelchairs are particularly fun, but I guess it was? Entitled Parent watched for a while, seeming mildly annoyed. A couple minutes later, my friends come back, and Entitled Parent removed Entitled Daughter from my lap and walks away. I guess it's more awkward when you're trying to order around a disabled girl in front of a group of 5 teens or something. Honestly, I know this isn't that bad, but it's definitely entitled for Entitled Parent to assume that her daughter has the right to play with my chair, as well as her repeated insinuations that I don't really need the chair. This is just another situation that never even needed to happen. If people like this entitled mother could just learn to leave others alone. Nobody asked to be born with a disability, and that mother should have understood, instead of dehumanizing the poor girl in front of her daughter like that. You can't exactly blame her daughter, as she was so young. But a parent's supposed to shape a child's mind, preparing them for social interactions and explaining what's okay and what isn't. And really, why would anyone assume it's okay to borrow someone's wheelchair like that? What did you guys think of this story? I'd really like to hear how you feel about it, as well as today's others, in the comments. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in with me, Jesse. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and check out what other stories I have for you. Have a beautiful day, and try to be nice to someone. I'll catch you in the next one.